Because I'm only going to use a dash of it.
Yeah.
I just need to put that heater in there. It's just a little bit cold. So this is a loggerhead turtle. It's a marine sea turtle. Only 1 in 1,000 of these little guys survives from hatching to adulthood. So every one that we can rescue is really, really important to the survival of the species. They're all endangered species. These little guys hatch out up in the northwest of our state between November and March each year. This little fella's only quite small, so I would assume that he's hatched out around about February and started to ride the Leeuwin Current on his journey around the world. But then he's been thrown out of the Leeuwin Current in all these massive storms we've been having, and something's tried to have him for dinner. He nearly became part of the food chain, as you can see by his missing limbs, but he's been luckily rescued by a beachgoer who used to be one of our volunteers, and he's been brought in here for us to look after. We need to put him back in the water now because he needs lots of tender loving care. What I'm looking for now is to see whether he can float or whether he just dives to the bottom. And if he only sinks to the bottom, then, oh look, he's active.
He's active.
He's a good little fella.
Hello, Brian.
Now, if he was only sinking to the bottom, then I would have to lower the water level so that or put something in there so that he could get up on to breathe. But you can see he's got a little bit of floating syndrome by the way his back end is up. We will put something in there that he can rest on and get his head out of the water, but he's pretty good, very active. Sometimes we get them and they don't even move for about 2 days. This has got 2 fairly fresh injuries. He's also got an old injury, but he's got 2 very fresh injuries that we need to get some photos of, and I'll liaise with the vets at the Perth Zoo about. Very cool. First one for the season. So every one that we can rehabilitate and then release represents 1,000 hatchlings. Yeah. This is our rescue marine turtle tank. These little guys should live up in the nice warm tropical waters, but down here in Bunbury, if they get caught up in the winter storms and thrown out of the nice warm Leeuwin Current and into our cold water, then their metabolism shuts down, almost go into hibernation, but they can't survive. Some of them, unfortunately, become part of the food chain, but the rest of them end up on our local beaches, and if we're really, really lucky, then people will find them and bring them into us here at the Dolphin Discovery Centre. One of the major impacts on turtles is the ingestion of marine debris, in other words, plastic. The worst thing that we can do for our ocean is to throw plastic away. Every animal in the ocean is impacted. Some are tangled and some ingest it. When we first get a little turtle and they arrive here for rehabilitation, they're really, really sick. And we don't know at that stage whether they've eaten a balloon or some other horrible piece of plastic out in the ocean. The most exciting thing that can happen is that we see the turtle do a great big poo, because then we know that the food that's going in one end is coming out the other end, not being blocked by a plastic bag. And once we see that happen, we know that the little turtle is going to have a fantastic chance at being successfully rehabilitated and released back into the ocean. This turtle's name is Happy. Happy was found on the Bunbury Back Beach. He only weighed 60 grams, which is about the size of an egg that you buy out of the supermarket. As you can see, Happy has thrived during his rehabilitation. He's now 21.8 centimetres long, and he weighs currently 1.9 kilos. Happy's going to be fitted with a satellite tracking device when he's released, so we'll be able to track Happy's journey around the world. And it's always very interesting to see where these little guys end up. Once a week, we measure these little turtles and we weigh them to make sure that during their rehabilitation they're thriving and they're going to be fit, strong and ready for release when the time comes. I'd like you to meet Rocky. He was found on Rockingham Beach by a person walking their dog. He was only weighed 100 grams and he was a very, very sick little turtle. Rocky had 2 limbs missing. As you can see, this front limb was in a very bad state when he was found and had to be amputated by the Perth Zoo. He already had another old injury, which is a back flipper that was completely missing. But luckily on the other side to this one, so that Rocky will still be able to be released and he'll still be able to swim out in the ocean and live a long and happy life out there. Usually the turtles arrive here in the winter and they're released around about the following March. We had 14 turtles released last year, but Rocky wasn't well enough to go with them. Rocky was still a very sick little turtle when all his friends were ready to be released. As you can see, he's not a little turtle anymore. He's grown into a beautiful, big, healthy specimen of a loggerhead turtle. And now Rocky is ready to go and swim back in the big wide ocean out there. We'll miss Rocky when he goes, but it's a fantastic moment for a rehabilitator to see a little turtle put back into the water where it's meant to be. All right, there you go, little buddy. Ready to go on your big journey.